Bink, the humble monster.
Toronto's own Grammy tastemaker, innovative, one of my favorites anyway. My man T Minus. What's
What
up
up, bro?
with you, brother?
How are you, man?
Can't call it, bro. I remember first time I inquired about you is when I heard that Ludacris record.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was like my
I
first big
love
record.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is this?
That's funny, man. That feels so long ago. It feels like that was like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? I feel like I was like maybe 21, 20 at the time when I did that
I just
record.
remember that shit was like super, super clean and different. I was like, who the fuck is this?
I appreciate it, man. It means a
This
lot,
this
bro.
guy knows something. Man, I said, this dude knows something. Whoever it is, he knows something.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. You know, it's funny when I did that record, bro. I remember people were like, you know, in the business, were like, yo, we need another How Low. Yo, this guy wants another How Low. This guy wants how. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do another How Low. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like this is just a moment. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to
Yeah.
move. It was tough, man. I find that like the music industry will try and pigeonhole you to do one type of thing when it's like you could do so much other shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's how they do. I mean, it's pretty much they want you to give them the same record without giving them the same record.
I know. And sometimes it happens naturally. Like I'm with it, bro. Like I'm all with, you know, when you develop a sound and a style. But I just feel like sometimes it just gets so caught up in doing the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what Quincy Jones said, when you try to do things intentionally, God leaves the room.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with that, man.
You know what I'm
You know,
saying?
we're
So
not
it's
thinking
like,
about just the art. We're thinking about the business. It's like I read that quote too. Funny enough, I really believe that, bro. Wholeheartedly.
yeah, you and me both. Like they've approached me and like, yo, we need another lights, camera, action. I'm like, nah, like that's just what that was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're
Right.
not cheeks, it's not gonna be the same chemistry anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not
I
it's
agree.
not gonna come across. So I'm like, I'm cool on that.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember when last time we spoke, you said that, you know, and it surprised me, but you said you would do like a different drum kit or like a different, like whole different beat, like every time you make a new beat, like you don't go back to the same drums, which to me is like kind of hard in itself. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the new producers, they'll go to the same sounds they use, like the last 50 sounds they'll use, and they'll just keep repeating them, repeating them, repeating them when they make music.
Nah, not me, bro. Like I pretty much, I have never used the same snare twice.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to any record I've done, it's gonna be different
Right,
texture on each one.
right.
Same type of snare, but a
Yeah,
different texture. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I learned that from listening to Dilla.
for real.
Yeah, like cause I wasn't really up on the whole uh, putting your breaks in recycle
Right.
and chopping them up and just just having dope drums like your favorite loops and your break. I mean your favorite breaks right at your fingertips whenever you get ready. So once I started implicating that shit to my music, it was like it just opened up a whole nother chamber for me.
Yeah. Nah, man. I mean, yo, I'm guilty of using some of the same sounds here and there, but it's never intentional. It's like it's just with other people. I find sometimes it's intentional. It's like they just go to the same sounds because that's just what they're used to. And I just like, bro, I get so tired of it, and that's why the game kind of got saturated for a minute, and still kind of is, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, music is like private school now, like a uniform. You know what I mean?
I know, bro. It's it's crazy.
But at the same time, it's like you've started so much as far as different things you're doing, like just the whole slide and bass thing. Like you were the
Right.
first person I really ever heard do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
like that became the thing to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. The
So
sliding 808s. You know, it's funny because that's actually just a function you could do in FL Studio, which I just started. You know, I just started fucking with from like the early FL Studio. So like, I'll throw a bass on and slide because I used to like doing the octave thing, like starting at a high octave with the bass and
yeah,
then down low. So I use the slide knob and shit. People have now changed it up a bit. You know what I mean? Like they'll slide it up and make it kind of dance in between, which is cool. But Yeah, it's funny though. Not a lot of people know that that I was one of the first to really to bring that about. You know what I mean? Which is dope that you recognize. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I mean that's one thing about me. I pay attention to detail.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's what really makes me a fan of yours. You know, especially just because of how you just go about doing it. You can tell you weren't using anything as a guideline. Like you were just doing what you heard, and that's what frees you up. Like you just it frees you so much. Like you can just do anything you want to do once you get that type of mindset, and you feel like I don't have to sound like this record that just went off on the radio. And that's the main thing that most kids are really doing now. They feel like if my beat doesn't have that 808 that Drake record had, then my beat doesn't sound right.
right. Yeah. It's
You know what I mean?
it's like to me, it's like it's almost like a debate between like what's culture and then what's kind of like following. You know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of times I understand why some people will go to similar 808s. Like everybody's into that woofy 808 now without the kick. You know, but at the same time, it's like, are you following or is it just like the culture of the sound? So it's like,
Oh,
you
they
know,
absolutely follow. The Scorpion album was the first time I noticed that short 808 that people Drake was using. I forgot the name of the producer. I think the guy that does Playboy Cardi was
okay,
like
yeah.
one of the first dudes to actually use that. But it's like the go-to 808 now. Like
Yeah.
every, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But hey, man,
So
I mean, I'm not
all
mad
it
at it.
takes is
I actually like this. I actually like it, to be honest. Like, I'm at that place where it's like, the shit is still kind of fresh to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. I like it. But some people are just like, yo, they don't. Some people don't even fuck with 808s. A lot of producers who are like, who have been in the game, they're like, yo, I don't fuck with the 808. I like my bass. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, bro, I mean, I'm cool with it.
I mean, that just the kick drum alone and a deep synth bass can give you the same effect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As they work together. I
Right.
remember listening to Neptunes and just noticing the hollow type of drums that Pharrell would use,
Right.
but this bass that he would use would make it sound like the kick drum was a lot bigger than what it was.
Right.
Them working together. So I was like, that's type of things I learned from, just taking notes from, what I'm saying, when I'm listening.
Yeah, definitely. Tim too. I noticed that with Timbaland stuff too. Like a lot of some of his shit was hollow at certain times, but it still kind of slapped. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, it's like a Big Mac. You know what I mean? It's like the hollow kick. The hollow kick is the bread on top. Then you got
yeah,
this synth bass, and it's like when it's two different. They in two different frequencies, so it's like it gives you
right.
the punch, but
True.
we used to call it the tail.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the sub gives it the tail on the back of the kick, so
Right.
they're not canceling each other out. Because I remember when I first started, I used to love this round kick I used to use
Yeah.
early. It was like this, but when I try to use it with a deep bass, they would cancel each other out because
Mm,
it's pretty much in the same frequency. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
that's what made me be like, okay, I got to rethink this. You know what I'm saying? Like this,
Right.
they're not working good together at all. And I would
Yeah.
listen to Pharrell, like that Pharrell record, I'm a Hustler Baby joint, the Jay-Z joint.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could hear that kick drum on a laptop.
Yeah,
And I
for
was
sure.
like, why does my shit cut through like that? I used to be like, why can I get my shit to cut through like that? Because my
Yeah.
shit just sound like a pop.
Yeah.
That's all you would hear. I'm like, damn, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
I was picking the wrong texture of kick.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
those are the like gems I learned early.
For real. You know what's crazy though? You say all that, like talking about picking kicks, or like I remember like I mean we're getting to like such detail, like producing detail, but I remember like I didn't really feel confident about picking kicks until like maybe like 4 years ago. Like for real, like I feel like my kicks were always pretty good, but it's like I feel like now I know the exact texture I need when I'm looking for a kick anytime I make a beat. Like I can go through a beat, like I can hear any beat and just know like, yo, that kick is way off, or that kick could be so much better with the sonics of what the other drums are doing. So like for me, bro,
Right.
that's a technique I only just learned a few years in, and I've been doing this for almost 17 years. So it's like, I mean, it just sometimes it takes a while, bro. It takes time to learn certain things, bro. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Trial and error is the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? Hands on. You know.
100%, bro. And also too, like another thing I want you to touch on that, it's like a lot of producers they try to get that kick to sound right, so they throw the kick in and they start processing and EQing, and I'm just like, yo, it's just the wrong sample. It's just like stop overthinking the shit and just find the right sound. You know what I mean? So
I used to laugh all the time. They used to be like, you think that, you use compression, and they just start throwing all these plugins at me. I'm like, no.
yeah, facts.
Like, I don't use none of that shit. Like, I
So
just
you don't even
turn it.
use them, any of them, even on any of your shit, or do you kind of just like you process it differently? Like you do different things with compression, different things with like.
I mean, my thing is, when I pick the kick, I love the way it sounded.
Yeah.
So the last thing I would do is get in here and start fucking with these knobs.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what you're doing with those knobs, you can ruin that shit so bad. You know what I mean? So it's like my thing is really just turning the bitch up in the mix.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And allowing it to do what you liked about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
I don't really do a whole bunch of extra EQing to it. I just make
Hmm.
sure that the presence of it is there.
Yeah, likewise. Like even for me, like I make sure that if the sound is right, first off, I know I'm already in the right direction, and then I'll throw it in. I'll throw in the mixer, and I might do a touch, bro. I might do like, I might look at the, like the frequency of the snare and just kind of boost like a touch, a little bit on like,
Yeah.
where the
The
transient
highs.
is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like exactly, like just certain parts, and that's the most I'm gonna do to it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do too much. And the problem is that people do too much in the mix, and it's like, yo, you're losing so much character. You're just doing too much. You're trying to bring something out that's not already there. You know what I'm saying?
So many guys I be helping out, and they like, yo, take listen to my beat. Nah. To open up the session, and then I'm like, you know what? Do me a favor. Turn all that shit off that you got on. Like, just turn all that shit off. Like, you see all these windows open. Like, you got all this shit on this kick. Turn all that shit off, bro.
Right.
I said, because all you did was ruined it. Like, you went in there and ruined the perfectly good sounding kick, trying to do some other shit with it. Like, just turn that shit off. Because people don't understand compression, if done right, can definitely boost your shit up. But if it's done wrong, it could take all your knockout.
Yeah,
like
100%. I don't even
totally.
put compression on my drums like that, bro. Like
me either.
I never use compression. The only time I use compression is like if I have a sample or something and I want the volumes to kind of line up really clean. I want everything to kind of I don't even use it on drums, bro. I feel like compression kind of can take away so much from drums. You know what I mean? So
it's been a lot of times that L2 killed me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm knocking, and I turn it off and hear so much beep come in.
Yeah.
When I turned it off, it's like, damn, I canceled all that shit out.
Yeah, bro.
Like, I never really paid attention to how much you can. Cause that's how I felt about the Devil New Dress mix. Like it was way too much compression. Like they ruined my drums basically. You know what I'm saying? So when that record dropped, like I literally listened to that record for like 30 seconds, if that, and turned it off.
Oh damn.
I was disgusted. You know what I'm saying? It took me weeks to find out that Ross was on it.
I hear
because
you.
I never listened to it all the way through because I just wanted. I was just, when it's like, you give somebody your kids to drop off to school and then you see them what they put on them, and they put this whack ass outfit on and didn't have a haircut and his knees was ashy and shit. It's like, yo, what did you do to my kids, yo? Like, really?
I get it. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was just like so disgusted, but it was just way too much compression. It just took all my knockout. And I know a lot of engineers think louder is better. It's like, no, it's definitely louder, but you killed all the bottom.
Yeah, true.
To it in the body of it. So
and the knock,
that's why I said,
knock too.
Yeah,
like
the knock is gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, nothing's worse than that, bro. Nothing's worse than having production and just like you get the mix back and it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Especially when you're not involved in the actual mix. It's the hardest part. It's the hardest thing to let go.
The hardest thing to let go. So I had to just tell myself, listen, Bink, this is a good look. It's on a great album.
It's a great song, bro. I don't even think when I hear it, bro, I think that's one of the strongest records on that album, and I think everybody would agree. Like it slaps. Everything still slaps. For you, I guess, because you know the prototype, so like like what it sounded like before. So I understand.
I'm gonna send you the original 2-track.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send that to you.
I want to hear that,
and,
man.
And you play them shit side by side, and you will understand exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's like night and day. You know what I'm saying?
How do you feel about the mixes on the Ross album? You did 3 on there, right?
Yeah, I actually mix my own joints.
Oh, crazy.
So they they came out a lot better than what, you know what I'm saying?
How you like this?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, cause I started sending my sessions with the drums on the same track. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna allow you guys to fuck up my blend.
Bro, that's a really good idea. That's that's some shit you do later on when you learn so much about mixing and learn like, yo, you don't got to put everything in separate tracks. Like, yo, let's just, you know what I mean? Keep it all
Yeah, I
together.
don't know if you heard the interview I did with KLC, and KLC was saying that 90% of the time the No Limit mixes were 2 tracks.
That's crazy. I'm not surprised.
Right. He was like the only record that he mixed was Ride for My Niggas.
Okay.
That was the only one which is the 808s and that shit is insane.
Right.
But he was like, that's like the only record that he actually tracked out, like
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But all the other records were straight 2 tracks.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, when we mixing records, it's like the question you keep asking is, play the rough. Where's the rough at? You keep comparing the mix to the rough because we love the rough.
Right.
Whatever you send over, like the mix you send over with the beat, it's like that shit sounds great. So we basically we're chasing that anyway, with the exception of adding the vocals to it. You know what I mean?
True.
So you know, so it's like it made more sense to just, you know what, let's just keep this 2 track. Like, we can't get this shit back to what it was. Like, I've been there a few times. Like, I can't get this shit to smack like that. I don't know what I did that night, but whatever it was, the stars were aligned. You know what I mean? Everything was great.
Right.
What would you say? What made you fall in love with hip hop? Just what turned you in this direction to be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this.
Honestly, bro, like I've always been in love with like R&B and hip hop. Like when I was a kid, I never really had access to a lot of music. You know, I was the youngest of my family, and you know, I had a big sister who was like 10 years older than me, and she was like, when I was like 5, she was 15, so she was the one, you know, bringing home CDs and listening to music in her room, and I would just like hang out with her and let her play her R&B, let her play her hip hop. My parents are actually much older too. My parents you know, they're like 35, 40 years, you know, well, like, yeah, about 35, 40 years older than me. So they've always been into like, you know, the older genre of music. So for me, it was just like, I got a lot of my taste from my sister, like just being around my sis all the time. And she was just super into the culture. And like, for me, that's how I kind of absorbed a lot of the music that, you know, I make today. So, you know, I always give her credit, you know what I mean? But bro, I've always loved from when I heard hip hop, you know, I just fell in love with the groove and just like, and just the vibe of what it was, you know what I mean? And just like becoming a teenager, just in love with the rebellion of the music, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just, bro, it was a whole vibe. I mean, it's kids to this day, like every teenager now listens to hip hop, bro. Like hip hop is now pop, you know what I mean? So it's just like, for me, bro, I just love the sound, you know what I mean? I love the drums. And that's what really made me want to become a producer, was just hearing fire ass beats. And I was like, yo, how do these guys do this shit? Like, how are they, like, I had no idea how people made music, bro, at all. Like even up until when I was like 11, 12, I was like, how do they make this music? Like there was even a point when I was really young, I was like, are they playing this shit live on the radio? Is that how they, like, are they playing all the music? You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even know how the recording process worked, nothing. So I've always been fascinated with just like, you know, how the creative process was. But yeah, man, I don't know, bro. I just love hip hop music. I love all music, to be honest, bro. But you know what I mean? Hip hop to me was just like, I just love drums, bro. Like I like the classic producers. You know what I'm saying? Like I love producers that care about like the knock and the swing and all that. So, you know, that's where my love is.
Like nobody in particular that you was like really listen to a lot. Like, yo, like I love his shit. Like
I mean,
for
Timbaland,
me, it was Q-Tip. So
okay.
Timbaland for you?
Yeah, Timbaland for me. Like I mean, 96, 97, Aaliyah, you know, Missy, Genuine era. Like I love that shit. And then you know, it's funny. You know, growing up, there was a lot of shit that I liked too that was coming out, but I didn't even realize, like, now that I'm old enough to see it, it's like there were so many copycats during that time, like dudes that were kind of copying the sound and copying the vibe of what Tim was doing. But you know, it's easy to see it now. When a dude drops a sound today, I can tell, oh, he's copying this producer, that producer. But I didn't realize how influential Tim was, You know what I mean? Just listening to his sound. But you know, he's always been a huge inspiration. You know what I
Yeah, he was the first to really take it to the double time.
mean? Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or halftime, however you want to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But his
it's
drums,
just
bro,
that.
his drums and his swing was always just crazy. And like, I don't know, bro. He was probably one of the producers I always aspired to want to be like. Because to me, he's like a producer's producer. He's not like the guy just like making song. Like, you know what I mean? You know that there's always those producers that just make songs that everybody likes, but it's like the producer is like, you know what I mean? The guy that you respect. You know what I mean? The guy that you kind of want to make tracks like, so to speak.
So that explains the creative freedom that you have, that you exalt now, because of who you model, who you really were following was another guy who was creatively free.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
Timbaland had, like, to me, the number one rule in music is not to have none.
True. Facts. I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like no rules. Like just however this shit makes you feel, just do that shit. So he
Yeah.
never, like, that's why his drum patterns was just so all over the place. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't no particular pocket he was in. Like he was doing some weird. It was weird to other people because everybody else was just straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Just to boom
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
He was like, nah. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah. True.
he,
True.
yeah.
By,
So it's
by the
like
time
that.
by the time I was 8 too, like when I was like 8, 9, as I was starting to kind of cultivate my own taste in music, like you know, boom bap was kind of like not really exiting, but it wasn't as popular as like where music was kind of going. You know what I mean? Because I was like when I was 8 or 9, I was probably like 90s, 96, 97. You know what I mean? So that's when that Timbaland era was kind of taking off. You know, Neptune's era was beginning to take off. So you know what I mean? Like I just fell in love with that with those vibes, like those free vibes, those free sounds. You know what I mean? And then even Dre too. Dre, his sound is so clean. Like his sound was so clear. Like that was another inspiration for like wanting to have like my shit sound so pristine. You know what I mean? Like my drums and like my vibe. Like you know what I mean?
You know what? For real, I gotta give credit too. I don't know if a lot of people give enough credit to Lil Jon for pointing us in the direction of all those EDM simps.
Mm,
Like the EDM world had all those loud ass simps
yeah, true.
that they use them different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
true.
he really like, yo, like fuck with these. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
I hear you have a lot of like weird simps in your
yeah,
records as well. So
yeah.
like, it's I've always been that analog guy too. Like it's just always trying to figure out what are these weird sounds, how I could put that shit in my music some kind of way.
Right. So how old were you when you first realized like well first off how old were you when you started listening to music like from like a a curiosity of production standpoint, then also second question is like when did you want to become a producer?
It's weird. Like it was never a dream for me to do music. Like
Okay.
I wasn't in high school saying, yo, I want to one day I'm gonna grow up and be a hip hop producer. Like I was your typical country kid, wanting to get a job at the railroad, longshoreman, or what I'm saying, or
Right.
merchant seaman, or something to that nature. That's all I saw. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, around me. But I started playing drums in church when I was 8.
Right.
So it was a natural evolution. So playing drums in church every Sunday, and then I started DJing in the 7th grade.
Right.
So DJing and production they go hand in hand for real
Right. Right. Right.
because for real, DJing trains your ear to produce.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you DJ in a party, certain records that you play because of the energy that you're looking for to get that crowd to do what you want them to do. So it's like it trains you to knowing how to make certain types of energy in your music.
Right.
So once I got curious to production after DJing,
Right.
which was probably after I graduated, you know what I'm saying? But I always toyed around with the equipment because I remember when I was like super young, Boss had a joint called a Dr. Rhythm. It was in this little blue case. You can put it
Right.
in your back pocket. You know what I mean? Just had like a snare, hand clap, kick drum. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just doing drums, like not really, maybe a bass, but not really a lot. But just trying to learn how to use those was like everything to me. That shit was like magic to try to get it going. There was this other drum machine called a Sonic something. I can't remember what it was, but it was black and it had these 3 gray pads on top. And you could do all the triplet hi-hats and all that shit with it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was stupid. And I had that shit hooked up to my father's component set.
Yeah.
And I was like just redoing like Planet Rock and all those types of records from back then, just learning how to, you know what I mean? So it was just like, I always had, I've always, the culture has always consumed me. Like, I was breakdancing and all that type of shit, like, listening to mixtapes, all that. I was always all in with the culture, wearing Pumas, Kangos, all that type of shit. So I was just always a fan of the culture, but it didn't click for me until I was probably about 18, 19 years old. Like, you know what? I think I can do this shit. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I finally got an ASR 10.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my curiosity.
That's kind of interesting. I find that like the curiosity for some people will start really early. You know what I mean? And like even for me, bro, like same thing. Like I wanted to initially, before I became a producer, I actually wanted to be a DJ, and I was always into like mixing and blending, and like, I come from like the digital era, so it's like I had the programs where I could just download the MP3 and throw it in like a digital mixer and throw it on one side, throw it on the next side, blend, you know what I mean? Do all that stuff, play with the pitch. So I had that experience when I was, I was doing that stuff when I was like 11, 12. And then eventually I was like, yo, I want to know how to like, I want to make drum patterns. I want to be a drummer too. So I started making drum patterns and stuff like that. And then for me, what sparked the interest to get into producing was just this like sampling. Cause I didn't have a great understanding of music in theory. I didn't understand notes and chords. So I was like, to me, it was easy to just pull out a sample and then just chop it and then add some drums. And then that's kind of what sparked the curiosity to learn how to play and how to do other things. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
Yeah, man.
So how did you realize that you was on to something as far as the sound? Like, when did you realize that? Because a lot of times you don't know.
No, I didn't.
You
just
doing you.
No, I didn't. I didn't even realize, man. For me, it was just experimenting and just creating what you love, man, and like taking bits and pieces from other things you've learned or other producers and kind of making your own vibe or your own sound. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like let's face it. Like when you first get into the game, there's like kind of a bit of copycat that goes on when you're starting, like as a kid.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I was there.
Yeah, put like pieces from people and shit. So like that's how I started, and it just eventually I just kind of cultivated what I liked and what I loved. Like I love melody. I grew up really loving R&B. Matter of fact, I thought I was going to be an R&B producer instead of a hip hop producer, which I mean I still do both, but I thought that was going to be my thing. But
I mean, you meshed them together. You know what I'm saying? You brought the best of two worlds together. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a dope marriage.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I think maybe I really realized it after like records like She Will and I'm On One. They kind of all had like a similar vibe, like Popping Bottles with Drake and T.I. They all had this similar vibe with the drums and synths and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm onto something.
She Will is like one of my favorites from you. I can't even lie. Like I listened to that one a lot. Like, what the fuck was he smoking this day right here?
Yeah, I don't even remember how I made it. Like when I made it, it's funny. Like obviously, you know how it is. You make a beat and it doesn't place for like another year or two. So it was a situation like that where I made that beat. In my earlier years, and then a lot of people wanted to buy that beat. Like it went from, Drake wanted it, Wayne wanted it, Ross wanted it, Birdman wanted it, Jeezy wanted it. Like everybody wanted this beat, and to be honest, I liked the beat, but I didn't see what the obsession was over this particular beat compared to, you know what I'm saying, until the record.
Right.
Like I loved it, but you know what I mean. Sometimes you know how it is, bro. You spend like a short time on a beat and you're kind of like, oh, this shit's whatever. Like I made this shit so quick. I'm not that in love with it. I'm not that attached to it. And then you spend so long with another beat and you're like in love with it, but no one ever cares to really fuck with that beat. You know what I mean? So.
Well, you know how it is with producers. Your best beat is your last one.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's how we look at it a lot of times. Like, no, this you gotta listen to this one. The one I did last night. They're like, no, the one from 6 months ago. Let me get
Facts. It's funny, but
that.
you know what's crazy? I was thinking like that for the longest time, bro. Like I was always trying to like shop beats that are like I just made, thinking like, yo, this is the hottest shit, like, you know. But lately, I've been like kind of sending shit from like a year or two ago, and it's been kind of, you know what I mean? It's been kind of working, like, and I didn't realize, yo, some of my older shit still works, like, you know what I mean? You sometimes forget,
Absolutely.
you know what
It's
I mean?
old to you. It's old to us.
True.
But brand new to somebody just hearing it. That's why smart rappers be like, yo, don't send me no beats. I'm gonna pull up
Yeah.
and just be like, yo, you pull that drive up, bro. I know you
Yeah.
got some shit on that drive. That's the smart
Yeah.
rappers. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
So that's the guys I like to get in with, because I'm not really keen on the email game at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I've never really sent over 5 beats at a time if I do.
Wow. Yeah,
You know what I'm
no.
saying?
I feel I'll send anywhere between 5 and 10, bro. I can't. I mean, even for me, like, cause I'll get people to send ideas to me, and if you send me more than 10 ideas, I'm not listening to them. Like,
It's just too much going on. Like it's overload. So I just need to just break that down to the best 5, and then
so
we can get somewhere.
so what's your process like in the studio? Like, do you prefer to like have an artist pull up and then you play beats, or would you ever cook up for them live, or like how would your process usually be?
Like for instance, on the Rather You Than Me album, I pretty much moved in with Ross for like a month and a half,
Mm,
and just cooked up. Like,
that's dope.
it's different when you cooking up with a direction.
Mm,
Like when you know who you're working for,
right.
it's different. You're not just shooting in the dark. Like, okay, I know this is for Ross.
Right.
So when I'm just working, I'm just doing shit with no direction for real, no real intent.
True.
So, but I love to be able to, like, you know what? Right now, I'm working on 2 Chainz,
Right.
and everything is 2 Chainz oriented the whole time I'm working. So, I would, yeah, more likely love to work like that than just be like, you know what? Let me go through my beats and send you some shit.
Right.
It comes out better for me, and that's been it for real. That's like my career. I was been
Yeah.
just like, you just go through and we just lock in for a few days in a row, and I just do a bunch of joints in those few days. And when
Yeah.
you do that, it helps you out a lot too, because you get a lot of new beats.
True. Yeah.
So the ones they didn't pick, it's like, okay, this goes in this shit dope, so I can still shop this.
Catalog. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm going to LA next week
Nice.
with Young Bird for like a week, and just lock in with Young Bird. So it's like you're just doing beats every day. So it's like you just really just build your catalog up while you're there.
That's
Free
fine.
trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, man, I like to cook up like with the artist too. For me, but also, sometimes the artist has a little bit. Sometimes they can get a little bit too much directive. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's almost like artists sometimes think they know what they want when it's like sometimes they don't even know what they want, or they say one thing and they say the next. So for me, like, my process works better when I'm like actually just cooking up my own shit. Like I'll cook up a catalog of shit, and then like I'd rather just find the right home for those tracks, because I feel like when I cook up free, it's almost like there's no like thinking of in the box. It's not like, oh, I gotta make a beat like this that I think this person will like. It's like, yo, I'm just cooking what I like, and if this might be the future for this artist, this might be the future for Drake, this might be the future for whoever I'm gonna give this beat to. So
I mean, a lot of people don't know how to just stay out of the way and not micromanage. Like when somebody's writing to my music, I'm not over their shoulder like, nah, don't say that. Like, let me allow them to get their thought out.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I just go do some other shit and allow them to work. Only time I say something if I just feel like melodically then or the pocket isn't right, they go in the wrong direction with that. I'll comment about that,
right,
and then I get back out the way again. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I don't really just be like, because you never know what people start with. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're going to end with.
True.
We may start with a drum pattern just to get it going,
Yeah.
but it's going to change throughout the process. You know what I'm saying? Because the more you hear it, and you start tightening shit up in certain areas. So it's like you just got to allow the person to get that thought out. You know what I'm saying? And just just work. So
Yeah.
it's I do my best work by myself in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not with a whole bunch of people around me. Like
Yeah.
I do my best shit when I'm alone. That's for sure.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Or with like a collaborator, if someone's, bringing like a musician plays guitar or something like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's all I keep with me. Keyboard players and guitar players, and
Yeah.
that's it. And
Yeah,
we
man.
just go nuts.
Yeah. It's true, man. It's true. Because sometimes you have too many minds in the room, too many opinions, and it's like, and like you said, like sometimes the beat can start one way and then end up in another direction, which is
Whole
like,
other direction.
you know what I mean? Which I love, bro. I love that process. Like to me, it's like I'll start a beat, bro. I'll even start a beat and finish a beat, and I'll bounce it to, I'll bounce it out and listen to it on my phone or in the car, like the next day, and I'm already like, nah, this shit's whack. I don't like this kick drum. I don't like this snare. I don't like this. I don't like the key it's in. I don't like this tempo. And then I'll go
Right.
back and then I'll fix it up. And then I'll give it, instead of the next day, I'll give it 3 more days until it's really fresh. And listen back again. And then after that, I'll know where it needs to be. And I might have to go back in and rework it again. You know what I'm saying? It happens like that. But you know what I mean? I just want to make the most solid music. I don't like to just make a bunch of beats, bro, and just like hope for the best. I hate that shit, bro. I want to be proud of every track that I put out. You know what I mean?
That part. You have a high integrity for your music, which
100%, bro.
is which is rare these
Yeah.
days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
everybody's just trying to get a placement. To me, it's like it's more than just a placement, bro. It's like it's a legacy, and you know, every song and every beat counts. So it's like I don't want to have just a bunch of shit that's out there like that I'm not proud of or that I'm not. You know what I mean? So
facts. That's a fact. But the Look at You record too is one of my favorites.
all the rich as fuck.
Rich as fuck shit. Oh my god.
Yo,
That
bro,
was
that beat, bro. I made that beat so quick. That's actually an example of almost an example of a beat that I was kind of like, like I was like, you know what I mean? Because how that beat came about, it was actually a lot of the music was a good friend of mine, a producer named Nikhil, and he's assisted me on other records in the past, but that was one of the ones where he kind of just brought me like this whole like melody and whatever, and I just put some drums down and I made that beat in like 20-25 minutes, and I was like, whatever, I'm gonna just send this shit out, bro. I couldn't believe that shit caught, bro. I was like, you know what I mean?
that shit went ape shit.
Yeah, it did pretty well, man. Surprisingly, I mean, you gotta
But
have a
but I
beat
go
like that, though. There must be a song like that in your catalog where you like when you made the beat, you're probably like I'm cool with it, and it caught. You know what I'm saying? There has to be at least one. Where you might
yeah, uh Santorini was like that.
for real. Oh my god, bro, that beat is so crazy.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Santorini was like, cause I had gone out to Miami to work with Ross
Right,
4 years prior,
right,
and I did that beat when I was out there, and he didn't hear it.
for real.
So I was sitting on that beat for like 4 years until we got back up again. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, listen to this shit again, bro. Like,
What? So you did
think,
that 4 years prior to?
yeah, yeah. And I ended up like changing the drums and you know
Yeah.
what I mean, beefing it up a little bit more. But yeah, that record was 4 years old already.
Wow, man, I love
But
that.
like you say, when you're trying to find the right home, it's like I'd rather keep the child home with me
Right.
before I send you to the wrong house. Like nah. Just
Yeah, facts.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing worse than hearing a dope beat with somebody doing some goofy shit on it. That shit
That's
drive
true,
you
bro.
crazy.
That's true, bro. I know. I know. It's crazy. Also, too, it's like, we might have a vision for a record and it ends up with somebody and we imagine it to be a certain way, but then sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. Like, you know what I mean? It could be you might at first not like it because you're like, yo, I imagine the song being more like in this direction or about this kind of flow or this kind of rap. And then like that's kind of how I felt about swimming pools initially. Like, I felt like it was so different when I heard the hook for swimming pools before it came out. I was like, this is really different. Like, this is not how initially when I made that beat, I had a hook on it. There was like an R&B singer singing hook on it. So like when Kendrick did his version, I was like, yo, like what? Like I don't like I didn't get it at first, and then after a while I was like, yo, this shit is crazy.
The swimming pools was a serious vibe.
I appreciate it, man.
And Ali put a great mix on it.
He did, man. He killed that shit.
Put a great mix. Every instrument had its own space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciated
And
the
he kept it
spacing of that record.
pretty much how I had it. And that's to me is like the tell of a great mixer. It's like
Absolutely.
if you can keep the shit sounding as close as you can to the original, then yo, you've done your job. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, once again, you're chasing the rough. Like like you said, a good engineer basically comes in and say, okay, I'm gonna just put some paint where it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna disturb nothing that's already jamming. Like, why would I disturb it? It's already jamming.
Yep.
So let me just keep that right here and just enhance it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So the other engineers come in and be like, nah, this kick is all wrong.
Yeah. Like
so
like do something with the bass. That's what I hate the most is they fuck with the bottom end sometimes. Some engineers will fuck with the bottom end and make it too wide or too thick and it's like
no,
bro,
man.
like you're ruining the whole vibe of where it was, you know what I mean?
Killing the vibe with swimming pools is Jesus Christ. Like, that was a great record.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Like, for real. Like, how long did you have that before Kendrick got it?
Honestly, not too long. It must have been like maybe, man, I can't even remember. I know it was probably the same year I made it, but you know, funny enough with that record, it was actually supposed to be for another artist, and they just were just like, nah, we're not in love with the production. We don't love the production, and what? I was like, you crazy? So like, you know, Kendrick one day, you know, this is like early Kendrick. This is like post Section 80, and you know, I was in the studio with him and I was just pulling up beats, playing them. He's like, oh, I like that one. And then he kind of just took it for himself and wrote to it, you know, when I wasn't there, just like days later, weeks later. And then that's pretty much how the record came out. But I was so glad that artist like said no to that beat, bro. After what Kendrick did, I was like, bro, I was so happy. You know what I mean?
That was like a whole nother movie.
Yeah.
And that, again, it goes back to finding the right home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never, you know, I always told myself early in my career that we're not going to just chase checks.
Facts.
We want to do great music.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, a lot of people, like I learned early that, because, you know, when you're a producer, you want to play, every beat you play, you want them to like it.
Right.
But then you get smart and you're like, you know what? These records, I'm not even going to play for this artist.
Yeah, fact.
Because I know that he can't give me what I need on these records. So I'm not even going to confuse him and tease him and play this. And then he try to do some goofy shit to it and it just doesn't, you know, just doesn't come across.
Facts.
So that's all about being seasoned and just be like, you know what,
that's some veteran shit, like to think like that, because that's some shit I only started doing some like a few years back too. So where it's like, you know, you know, sometimes too I would try to save the best beat for the best artist, which sometimes can hurt. You know what I mean? It can actually hurt you because, you know, if I didn't take a chance giving that Swimming Pools beat to Kendrick, who was new at the time, he wasn't like the hottest rapper at the moment, we wouldn't have had such a great record, you know. But you're right though, in regards to just giving the right beats to the right artist, it's like it's so important, man, not to like play your, because the artist will fuck around and think like, oh, this is it, like this is I love this, like I can do this, and in the back of your mind, you're like, no, you cannot do this record. Like,
you know, this is not it.
This is not like, you know what I mean?
And then it's like them and all their management, everybody's loving the record, and you like, I don't know what you guys hear, but I don't hear it at all.
There's nothing wrong with being pleasantly surprised either, because if a record could work, then it's like maybe you were wrong all along. You know what I'm saying? Like you just never know. Even with Moment for Life, actually, when I did Moment for Life, like when I made that beat, I had a completely different like idea of what the type of song was going to be on there. Like I was imagining, like, you know, at the time girl groups were still kind of big and popular. I was imagining hearing like a pop group on Moment for Life. I didn't imagine like rapper, you know, when Nicki Minaj took that beat. So it's like, and when I heard the hook, I was like, it's not the hook I imagined hearing, but it caught, you know what I mean? I love the record when they dropped, you know what I mean? It caught
another gem.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Like another great record. Like these records, I'm huge, especially at the strings you put on it.
Yeah.
the string that took it somewhere else.
Yeah, those are all just VST plug-in strings. I don't know, man. I don't know what I was thinking when I made it, but it felt right.
Hey man, people don't understand. Like you can have the dopest string VSTs, but if you don't know how to articulate them,
It's true.
it's like you just got some dope strings.
Yeah, yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what these guys making the sample packs understand. Like
Yeah.
how to get those strokes and
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they make it sound like it's a real player, just rather than just playing straight chords with them. Like that's
Right.
boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so having those straight, like it's like, oh wow, like yeah, the orchestra in this bitch, like,
Yeah.
all right, listen real close. Like, wait a minute,
Yeah. Funny enough.
have you have you used a live orchestra yet yourself?
No, never. Never. I mean, I love to. That's something I love to do in the future. You know what I mean? I'm actually in the process right now of potentially doing that on a record that I'm working on, but this hasn't been the time yet. You know what I mean? And like honestly, man, sometimes I'm happy with like the synthetic and the the plug-in shit. Sometimes I'm cool with it, bro. Like sometimes people overthink and they want the real thing, but sometimes, bro, it's just like it's as good. It's perfect. You know what I mean? You don't have to change it up. You know.
Well, like I said though, in those situations like that, it's like until you hear them side by side, because of course the VST sounds great,
Right.
but when you hear a string section
Yeah.
side by side with a VST,
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I feel you.
it's like, especially like the cellos, like just
Yeah.
the natural ambiance of the sound, like the body of it.
Right.
It's like you can't say like on the fucking the Justin Timberlake album that Tim did,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like the string work on that album is just like
Crazy.
it's crazy because it's just so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you miss
Yeah.
when you don't use the live shit. It's just
True.
the warmth of it, the body of it. It's like, but a lot of times we stack them along with the synths.
True.
We use both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that helps a lot too. You know what I mean? But I had the pleasure of working with Larry Gold a couple times, and it's like it's no comparison to be able to have that fucking 20-piece, 24-piece orchestra.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean?
When did you
Back,
work with him? How long ago did you work with him? On what records?
I had done on Mr. Cheeks' album, damn near 20 years ago, man. I drove down to Philly
Mm,
and played him the record and told him what I was looking for, and he wrote the string part right on the spot. And the string players was just in there watching TV, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes and shit. And
oh, wow.
he ran the shit off, passed out the music, and
So he got his string players to play on that record.
yeah,
Okay, that's dope.
3 hours in 3 hours I had string sections for 2 records.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like it's that fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know a lot of dudes
Like
nowadays are going to they'll go to Europe, not even go to Europe, but they'll Skype somebody in Eastern Europe and do
yeah,
Skype calls where they have like the 24 piece or whatever piece orchestra, and they'll give them the music and then they'll go play it right there live for you on Skype.
yeah. I did a record with Missy Elliott for the movie Any Given Sunday.
Okay.
And Oliver Stone, which was the director of that movie, he was just really anal about having strings in all the records for the movie. So it put me, Missy, and Tony McAney together. Tony McAney is the guy who did all the strings for Titanic.
Mm,
So I sampled a Mozart record and gave it to him with the idea that I had and the shit he wrote to really embellish on, elaborate more on my idea.
wow.
Shit came on nuts. It's called Who You Gonna Call. So when you hear that though, like it sounds insane because it's brass and strings and a choir.
Shit.
You know what I mean? So it's just like when we played the shit back to us, it was just like wow.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like wow. And I just make sure that my engineer had a hand in the mix because, you know, guys who do the string records don't really know about knocking with drums and shit like that.
Right.
So I just, you know, I want to make sure that the hip hop feel was still there.
Right.
But when you hear the string section and the choir and the brass section, he put on that shit. He wrote like a bridge part to it. Like he really did some epic shit to it, bro. Like it's insane. That's why I would love to see you sit down with somebody and do that for yourself, because it's like it'll blow you away. Like it gave me chills, like literally my chills all over my arms and shit. It was just like wow. That shit sounded like he was inside the music.
Yeah, especially because you had it a certain way. You already you created this piece of work. It's because I'm assuming the song was probably already done before he added this. So it's like you had it done, and it's like he added all these like elements that just brought shit to life and gave it color. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like that's a crazy feeling.
Insane, and I know how you think, and you know the type of chords you use, and you know, like you already got your shit is already big. So just imagine it getting bigger.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's no feeling like that to hear. Because my thing was I always wanted to make a record with the same quality as Thriller for hip hop.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like off the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but hip hop though.
Definitely, yeah.
That's what I've been chasing my whole career.
Wow.
Actually, you know what I'm saying? Just
trying
to,
You gotta do more of that, like more of those vibes, like.
Yeah, for sure.
You have vibes like that, bro. You have like lots of like when you say it like that, I can hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of your shit is very epic too. Like you have a lot of big records, like big epic sounding songs. You know what I mean? Where it's like it can use that kind of character, like orchestra and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, all the records that we sample, bro. It's like that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's a whole bunch of great musicians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I try to implicate all that or put all that stuff in my music, man, and try to keep great relationships with the dopest guitarists, the dopest bassists, the dopest string writer, composer. Like that's all Quincy Jones was when you think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
When you listen to when you read the names he used, it's like Herbie on Rose and you know what I'm saying? It's like what fucking what's my man name? Miller on bass, and you know what I mean? Fucking he's writing the strings, which is epic.
Right.
You know, so you just got all these A1 ass musicians just improvising off the idea that you played them.
Right.
They taking that shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like moments of life with a real orchestra. Imagine that shit.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. I mean, shit.
Nuts.
When I made that, bro, I was like, that was in the basement. You know what I mean? So it's like just to imagine, like, now that would have happened. That definitely would have happened. You know what I'm saying? But
because you probably would have done some ill shit just to end it. You know, just going off with the strings, just doing some real with the flutes, you know, all that type of shit. Like all that type of shit, just like that's like music porn to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
You know. So you still on Fruity? You ain't switched up yet?
Nah, bro. I'm still on FL, bro. I'm still on FL Studio, bro. I can't.
That's right.
I can't kick it, bro.
Why would you?
Exactly.
Why would you?
No, for sure, bro. I mean, I got other dudes leaving their dogs to go to FL Studio, so it's almost like that's just the way. That's just my tool, man. I mean, yo, with FL, man, it's just so great to just make beats on, bro. Like to make a quick like drum pattern or anything like that. That's what I love about it, bro. It's just like you could just be quick and make some drums. You know what I mean? And I just enjoy just the process of it. You know what I mean?
The quantizing on Free Loops is super, super tight.
Yeah.
I gotta admit that, like it locks in like real lock, like it's a dope pocket on that shit.
Yeah.
Cause I got it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got FL, but it's like I still didn't get comfortable with just doing everything there, like just knowing how to make the sequence longer and all that type of shit. Like, you know, I'm still like,
yeah,
a little shaky with that, or using the sample and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just all what you're used to, man. Because I've been using it since day one, so it's like it's almost like I can't imagine using anything else unless I bring another tool on board. Like I know Ableton has some really cool functions, and you know what I mean. It has it's good for some stuff too, but I don't know,
But
bro.
it
FL,
seems like all the day one FL guys don't like the new FL.
bro. I actually love the new FL. I love
Okay.
the new FL, bro. It's funny because I think it's just a big thing of like being used to something. Like I think a lot of the guys who like the old FL, they're just used to like how the layout is and like the problem was when FL 12 came out, it went from like
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11 were like the golden eras of FL, and then when 12 came out, it kind of just like changed everything. They took things out, they changed the layout, and it really upset a lot of producers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then they came out with FL20, which what they did was they brought everything back from like the previous versions, like 11, and they enhanced on it and they added new shit, and it's actually fire. Like I love FL20, man. Like I swear by it, to be honest. Like it's definitely like the better program when you look at it.
But the knock that you get out of that shit though is like, sheesh.
Everybody said, yo, I hear I hear this so much, bro, and I don't even know if like sometimes I question, is this even true? Like I gotta talk to the guys at FL and ask, like, did you do something different with the program? Because it's like I don't know the difference personally. I can't.
No, I seen DeCab. Oh boy, DeCab do a comparison from Ableton to Fruity, and he according to him he's saying that there wasn't any difference, but I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think it's a mental thing. Even I feel that way when it comes to guys that are like, oh, FL10 and 11 are better than 20, or FL10 is better than 11, and to me, it's just all like I feel like sometimes it's mind over matter, but I could be wrong, bro. I really could be wrong, but for me, even a lot of guys, bro, a lot of guys say, oh, FL20 doesn't sound as good as FL11. I'm like, how? Like, what? You? This is the same program, like, you know what I mean? But again, I think it's all a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Like when I got 20, it was like I'm calling on my dudes that I know, born and raised on the FL, and like, oh yeah, just call me OG. You need the help. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm on 20. Like, nah, I don't fuck with 20. I'm like, what you mean? Like nobody's fucking with 20.
yeah.
Oh
So,
man, you gotta go back.
so
You
you're on
gotta get
20.
11.
You're on 20
Yeah, I
now.
got 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
you hit me up, bro. I hope you with that, man. Like,
Oh man,
I'm very. I like to think progressively too, man, because I feel like there's certain things you don't change because it's like it's if it ain't broke, don't what I mean, don't fix it. But at the same time, it's like, bro, I don't want to be that dude that's like stuck on the old shit all his life just because it's like, oh, this is what I'm used to. That's like, to me, that's like the problem with dudes that get older. It's like, so for me, it's like I want to be progressive. I want to learn the new shit just so I can stay up to what's going on. You know what I mean?
right. A lot of guys are scared to embrace change. You know what I'm saying? But in their defense, I don't understand why people change the VST and change the whole face of it. Like
Right.
I never understand that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
I agree.
we've been like they did the same thing with battery. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a
Mhm.
super huge battery fan,
Yeah,
and then you put out a new version of battery and you take shit away,
right,
take shit out, like features that we love. You take it out and change how it looks and change how you load the sounds. And it's like, what are you doing?
right.
like what are y'all doing right now? Like
Yeah,
I love this VST. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Cause that's what I use for like all my drums for the most part.
right.
It's battery.
So is there a way to have like the classic mode, like you can like go back and switch it so the layout is not the new version? It could go back to the version that you previously had. No, damn.
Nah, you gotta try to download the old version,
Oh my god,
and the
that's
old version would crash on you and all types
yeah,
of shit.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. I already know,
so,
bro.
it's like that ain't happening.
I already know, man.
But we definitely gotta get us a joint together. Like we've been saying that shit for a minute.
I know, bro. I feel like
That's
we
like,
sent each other ideas maybe one time, like we sent back and forth a couple things, but we gotta be
nah,
consistent, bro. I mean, shit. I mean, with COVID going on too, it's kind of tough, right? So
it's not really that bad in Toronto though, right?
it's not honestly, bro. We're at like stage 3 where like people can, restaurants are open and like certain things are opening back up. You can like eat inside of a restaurant now, whereas before you had to eat out in the patio. But things are moving, bro. Things are going well. Everybody's wearing a mask. You can't go anywhere without wearing a mask. But everybody's just trying to be preventive. But yeah, man, the borders are closed. That's the only thing.
They don't want no Americans nowhere. You guys, they like, this is all American. Like, yeah, no, you're from America. Sorry.
Yo,
Yeah,
they're crazy, bro. Like we have average, like I think we're at an average of like 200 plus cases a day. Like, you know what I mean? And I know you guys are like got like LA has like, or like California's like 15,000 a day or something like that, or Florida's like 15,000 a day. It's like, that's insane. I don't know how they're able to treat everybody. Like how many, like, with all the hospitals they probably have to have.
right.
I mean,
I've been seeing a lot of conflicting stories about those numbers. You know what I'm saying?
I know,
So
bro.
it's a little tricky. So I'm not, I'm not really going into that too tough. But other than that, I'm trying to think. Who is your Are you a fan of any producers out here other than
right now?
Yeah.
I mean, yo, I'm a fan of a lot of the new guys, man. I really like Wheezy out of here. He's fire, man. I love his bounce. I love his sound. I love how melodic he is with his music, and I know he produces a lot of his shit. Like he's one of them like full. He'll do it all type producers, which I respect. You know what I mean? I like Pierre Bourne. I like his sound a lot. And I still love my guys who've been around, like Boy Wonder. I love Vinyls. Seven Thomas. There's a lot of the guys that like I know coming up. You know what I mean? Who are super fire. They still put out quality music. But yeah, man. I mean, I love where music's going right now, bro. I know a lot of times it's a lot of shit's copycat. A lot of shit is like, you know what I mean? People are losing their sense of their sound and stuff, but it's like, I'm just enjoying it, bro. I'm just enjoying like what I hear from some of these guys.
I like London too.
Yeah.
London on the track.
Yeah, no, he's dope.
Yeah, he's definitely dope. I'm a fan of his as well.
Yeah.
But shit, I don't want to keep you too long, man. I appreciate you taking the time to, kick it with me, bro. We're trying to get this going for a minute because, I'm a huge fan of yours myself.
Thank you, bro. Likewise, man. Honestly, it's an honor, bro, just to chop it up with you, just about music and just nerd out, bro. Like talk about the shit that the real shit we want to talk about, not like the bullshit.
Like, yeah, that's a fact. Nothing worse than talking shop with somebody who don't know about the shop. Fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just talk to somebody that really understands everything you're saying, the lingo. You don't have to keep explaining yourself. Like it's always, like-minded people are always great to talk to.
Of course, bro. Of course.
Well, shit, but I'm gonna definitely start sending you some ideas, man. Like I promise you, I got a lot of samples already chopped up. You know what I'm saying? I just need to go ahead and send to you, bro. Again,
send it whenever, bro. I'm here, man. This is where I cook up.
Absolutely. But again, man, I appreciate you coming out, bro. I appreciate you.
All right, take care,
Thanks,
brother.
man. Yep.